Let's continue that conversation now with Scott Blakeman. He's a political commentator, and also Judge Ken Vecchio, attorney and GOP strategist. Guys, thanks so much for coming back on. So talking about this, Michigan, huge day. 6 states are voting today. Michigan is a big one. It's almost a do or die for Bernie Sanders. I'll start with you this time, Ken. What's your take on that?
Well, look, the Green New Deal, taxpayer-funded abortions, health care coverage for all illegal aliens, has Beto O'Rourke in charge of his Second Amendment policies. You know who I'm talking about? Not Bernie Sanders. I'm talking about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is as far left as Bernie Sanders. At least Bernie Sanders is authentic. At least Bernie Sanders really believes in what he's talking about and has a 40-year history of it. Joe Biden really stands for nothing. He's just pandering to the far left. Bernie Sanders is poised to win Michigan again. Now, this mini Tuesday, it's certainly not as big as the massive event last week. But, you know, you got Michigan has about 150-some delegates at stake.
Right.
And I think that Sanders, who won it last time when he was down in the polls, will win it again. Better for the Democratic Party, probably, if they get Sanders. Bad either way, because Donald Trump is going to trounce them both.
Scott, I'm going to bring you in on this one here. Just keeping in mind, Biden is up 21 points over Sanders in the latest poll.
Yes, well, in 2016, Hillary Clinton was up by double digits, too. And that was a key moment for Sanders. He didn't ultimately win the nomination, but it did give him a lot of momentum. So tonight, as Sanders himself said, he needs to do well in Michigan. Obviously, to win Michigan would be very important to win. If he loses Michigan decisively, I think that would be very difficult. But, you know, I've given up trying to guess because, you know, the momentum shift. I would just take issue with Ken that Joe Biden has had a long career. He has not shifted his positions. In fact, he was in favor of the Hyde Amendment. So he has always been a moderate and
was.
You know,
was in favor. Was favor, was a moderate. He's far, far to the left when he needs to be far, far to the left. He tries to go to the center.
Well, I don't know
when
why,
he needs
but
to
many
go
Republicans
to,
now are endorsing him.
But Sanders, what Republicans are endorsing him?
Well, some local Republicans, I think he will get
here.
Some independents and Republicans.
Come on,
you know,
if it does end up being a Biden nomination eventually, and we go into a Trump and Biden a debate, actually, let me go back to the debate that's going to happen with Biden and Sanders. Biden's team pushing for a sit-down debate. What do we make of that?
Well, Joe Biden has done a wonderful job in debates with Paul Ryan. He did an excellent job with Sarah Palin. You know, I know there's a lot of talk here about the gaffes of Joe Biden. He is a tremendous debate. Look, he's never been a good speaker. It has nothing to do with his age. He makes gaffes. President Trump makes outright lies and misrepresentations. Joe Biden is very strong in debates and has been very strong in the recent Democratic debates.
Let's be fair here, okay? Biden has always been a gaffe master, but Biden is completely losing his train of thought at this point. It does have to do with his age. It does have to do with his mental health, and it is fair to criticize that. I don't think it's fair to criticize somebody's physical health, but it is fair to criticize somebody's mental health in terms of their capacity to be president of the United States. I don't care if he wants to sit down in a chair, but the debate's going to go like this: rip, 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 punch, 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 punch by Sanders to Biden, and Biden being, I mean, the guy really, truly cannot formulate sentences for any more than about 6 or 7 minutes, and it's kind of scary. And if the Democrats want to vote for him, go for it.
Well, if you've watched any of Trump's 2-hour speeches, I think you could find many spots there where he was also pretty incoherent. So,
no.
You know.
Let me come back to what we're going to find today, which is a tax cut plan, essentially a stimulus package, something we've seen back in 2008. That will be presented to Congress. Is this going to fall on deaf ears? What do we think?
No, there are things that Democrats said that they need. We need to focus on the most vulnerable right now. And I would say paid sick leave for workers who have to self-quarantine, to enhance unemployment benefits. Payroll taxes don't help. Cuts don't help people who are laid off. They don't help people in the gig economy. So we need to focus, and we need to support our health industry and make sure, above all,
Scott,
to make sure everybody can get tested.
Here's a fundamental difference between Republicans and Democrats. I'd like to help people who are out there actually working and contributing to the economy first. So payroll taxes are something that should be at the top of the list. I wish Donald Trump, who I love to pieces, would go a lot further, though, in tax cuts. I wish, for example, he would eliminate all income taxes and make it just a consumption tax, a flat sales tax. I know that that's not mainstream Republican Party positioning, but there's a lot more that could be done in tax cuts, and I think he'll be even bolder on it upon winning his second term.
Well, that brings me to my next point, because there are other entities, if you will, that would need a stimulus, right? Because you're seeing less international travel, even domestic travel. You're going to see airlines hit really hard. You're going to see hotels, travel industry hit really hard. Do we think we're going to eventually see a stimulus for them? But we've seen the big bailouts before. Would we see it for?
I'm not in favor of bailouts. I was never in favor of the bank bailouts. Never in favor of insurance company bailouts. I don't like just focusing on specific industries. I'm a big guy. Equal protection clause. Everybody should be treated equally. Let's pass this across the board to everybody.
The best way to help Wall Street stock market is to focus on the coronavirus, stopping the spread, making sure everyone's tested. If President Trump can do strong, calm leadership, let the health professionals drive the show, that will ultimately, that's more important than anything else. The stock market, everything else will fall into line after that.
Yeah, definitely being hit hard, both health, obviously, and the markets as well. We'll continue to monitor that throughout the show. That is Scott Blakeman, political commentator, and Judge Ken Vecchio. He's an attorney and GOP strategist, guys. Thanks so much.